All of us have noticed that some of the dogs in Cruella were CGI'd. But why was this decision made? And was it actually a good idea in retrospect?
No.
Well, you can't ignore the challenges the filmmakers had with the real dogs, especially the Dalmatians and their diva-like behavior. Fortunately, Cruella didn't need to enlist the help of 101 Dalmatians for this film, but the spotted breed did end up making an appearance. Of course, we're talking about Baroness von Hellman's 3-guard Dalmatians. Even though the real version of these dogs actually strutted their stuff on screen, it wasn't easy for director Craig Gillespie to handle them on set. Speaking to The Wrap, he said, "Dalmatians are not fun. To wrangle, that is. They're very skittish in their personalities, and then you put 3 of them in a scene together, and it's almost impossible to have them sit still and listen and pay attention." Craig added that there would be 6 trainers yelling commands in between lines, and it'd become difficult to film the scenes with them. But he knew how necessary these dogs were to Cruella's emotional journey. So we had to persist and get the shots, even if the Dalmatians weren't playing ball for the most part and had a mind of their own. Maybe they were, barking up the wrong tree. Craig admitted there was a point where he didn't want the spotted rascals on set anymore, and they weren't present for a major scene that we'll discuss a little later on. But there was one dog, one that stood up paws and shoulders above the rest for Craig. He might have been the tiniest cast member, but he was probably the biggest star. And that special pooch was none other than Wink, the barking mad superstar. For Craig and many others around the world, Wink was the true star of Cruella. The Chihuahua, whose real name is Bluebell, stole the show in every scene he appeared. Whether instructed to roll over or play dead, the feisty little pup did it all. Hopefully, it didn't go all to his head.
Wink thinks he's Kieran Culkin.
Undoubtedly, Wink's shining moment was when he was dressed up as a rat at the black and white ball. For the crew on set, they knew they had magic on their hands as soon as the star strutted in. Chatting to Collider, Craig revealed the following. There was a shot of Wink in the rat outfit and the eye patch, and we're pushing in on him and he's growling at the camera. I was just focused on getting the shot, pushing in, and getting the growl at the right time. I stopped and turned around, and the crew behind me was just cracking up. With so much charm and sass, it's no wonder that everyone fell in love with the eye patch-wearing Chihuahua and his superstar appeal. So while the Dalmatians might have been a little difficult to handle and get the best out of, Wink was the complete opposite. But even though Wink was a star that played ball, he still fell victim to CGI too. And here's why. As the director mentioned before, it isn't always easy to get dogs to do what you want them to. Though Craig said they always tried to get real pups to do the scenes first. He said to The Wrap, "We had all the dogs on set all the time, and I would always try to shoot real dogs first. And sometimes it would work and we'd be done. But more often than not, within every scene, half of it is real dogs and half of it is CG. Also, there are just some scenes that are far too dangerous and pretty much impossible for real dogs as well. Animal safety needs to be adhered to at all times. Otherwise, the pooches might have been injured in the process. Take the part where Buddy needs to jump down and land on a mattress. That could have gone horribly wrong for a real dog and resulted in a broken paw or leg, so a computer-generated double had to be used instead. Undoubtedly, the most famous, or let's say infamous, moment where CG dogs were used in the movie was the cliff scene. As you know by now, Baroness von Hellman's 3 Dalmatians raced towards Catherine and pushed her off the cliff. For many viewers at home, it was immediately jarring and obvious that these weren't real dogs because of their wonky looks and unnatural appearance. But you understand why the filmmakers did it though, since real dogs performing near a cliff could have been a disastrous and unsettling tragedy for everyone involved. Still, that doesn't take away from the fact that this moment lacked realism or worked effectively, especially because some of the CG dogs look too fake, and the fans have been particularly vocal about it. Seriously, just take a look at some of these comments. The reason for the reaction is simple. If you see a real dog behaving naturally in a movie, it isn't too hard to spot when it suddenly turns into a CGI render. In Cruella's case, you could instantly tell when the dogs had their digital doubles take over. Look, it wasn't as bad as some of the CG we've seen on TV or in other movies, but it proves one thing. You either need to commit to full-on computer-generated characters or use real dogs for everything. If it's the latter, then the script would have needed some rewriting to take the pups out of scenes that might have been too difficult for them to perform in. Ultimately, Disney and the filmmakers decided on a hybrid approach here, and the results were divisive and mixed. The reception is kind of reminiscent of how the audience reacted to the recent Lion King movie. And funny enough, there's actually a strong connection between Cruella and Simba's adventure. Disney pulled out all the big guns for Cruella, bringing in the same VFX company that worked on Jon Favreau's Favreau's remake of The Lion King, with MPC being responsible for all the four-legged and furry action on screen. No, not like that. For the director, he was left impressed by what they did, revealing that he can't even tell the difference between the real and CGI dogs. He specifically cited the scene where Buddy sits on Cruella's lap in the car and how he wasn't sure if it was a real puppy or not. Though he admitted how the VFX process was actually exhausting, saying to the Wrap, "That was a year of meticulously going through shots, reviewing shots over and over and over, the fur, the eyes, and the lighting. I maybe would have persevered with the real dogs, knowing what I was in for." Though there was one person who absolutely loved working with the real dogs on set, and probably if it was up to them, Cruella would have just used the proper pooches throughout. For Emma Stone, her furry co-stars were everything. As an Oscar winner, Emma has shared the screen with numerous legends and has her own process for getting into character. But she's never seen the sort of preparation that her four-legged cast members put in. She revealed that you need to be careful how you even speak to the dog before a scene, because you can't rile them up too much. The animals actually need to be in a zone and be given space to focus and get ready for what they need to do. But she couldn't deny that it was a treat to share the set with them. She told Jimmy Kimmel, "That was the best part, by far. It was so much fun. You know, these dogs are professional actors, and they're basically the superstars of the set." Funny how you don't hear Emma saying that about the digital doubles, right? But it does prove one thing. You need to be patient with animals on a film set, because if given the room to prepare and freedom for error, their natural and charismatic personalities shine through in big and magical ways. And speaking of all the fuzzies, there's one joyful story that we do need to share and how Cruella changed the life of one lucky dog. Buddy found a friend in Cruella, but for the real-life dog Bobby, he found something else, a forever home. Previously, he'd been a stray that roamed the streets searching and begging for food. He was rescued from the streets by a charity that put him up with a Hollywood animal trainer named Julie Totman. Seeing something special in him, Julie took him to audition for the part of Buddy in Cruella. As soon as everyone saw his shaggy little face and good-natured personality, it was a done deal. Julie revealed that Emma actually fell in love with Bobby on set and wanted to adopt him. But he wasn't going anywhere since she had already opened her home to him. Aww! It's a real heartwarming tale that brings a tear to the eye. Because even if Cruella did rely heavily on CGI dogs, the movie made a significant and real difference in the life of one special boy. Overall, Cruella made use of both real and CGI dogs. To us though, the scenes where the real pooches were used were still stronger than their digital doubles. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.